Good day, students. Today, we're going to talk about potentially one of the biggest patches in Genshin Impact and the excitement surrounding it. We will go over the potential release of Arlecchino, the most likely rerun of Furina, the new map, and the release of a new weekly boss. So sit down, open your notebooks, and sharpen your pencils, as today's class is hereby in session. First up, let's talk about the main attraction of the upcoming patch. Everyone's favorite father, Arlecchino. Hailed as one of the most anticipated units in Genshin Impact history, Arlecchino's arrival has sent shockwaves through the community. With her mesmerizing character design and introduction in the story, she has surely made quite some waves since her first appearance in the Fatui trailer some time ago. Although she made quite the waves, the devs decided to give her the pyro element at her disposal. Therefore, she's poised to leave a blazing trail of destruction in her wake. Being of the pyro element means that she will work in the traditional vape or reverse vape teams. But what they could also do is turn her in the direction of the other two pyro reactions, namely overload and burn, which for me would be very interesting to see them showing some love to these reactions as well. Overload, especially, could be an interesting play as we just had Chevy introduced, which is the go-to support for this reaction, so the tools are already in place to have an overload-focused carry introduced in the game. And I do mean carry, because if she is reduced to a quick swap support unit where you just get to see her for 2 seconds while you press her ultimate, I think this will be a missed opportunity, as her design should be appreciated to the fullest extent on the field. And she screams to be an assassination-type character. Therefore, I would love to see some interesting mechanics from her hit. More so if they have something to do with her hands turning into claws and mowing down the enemy by having a form change, just like Child does. Also, with the introduction of Navia's axe, they opened the doors for some interesting weapon designs as well. So I am excited to see what they will do with Arlecchino's weapon as well. But mostly what I would like to see from Arlecchino is that she is complete at C0, not having a core mechanic locked up behind her first or second constellation. This has unfortunately been the case for some recent units. Finally, for her, I just hope she is not the second coming of Dainsleif, where a cool-looking unit with a nice-looking kit is dragged down by poor implementation and kit numbers. So let's just hope what happened with Dainsleif was a one-off from them, and it will not happen again now. But wait, there's more. Apart from Arlecchino, as 4.6 will be the 4th patch after the release of Furina, the illustrious archon of the region is poised to make her triumphant return. With her rerun banner gracing our screens once again, everyone will have the chance to harness her power and bolster their teams with her formidable strength, as she is arguably one of the strongest supporters released so far in the game. So, if you didn't have the chance to get her during her debut banner and are still debating if she is worth it, she most certainly is, as she enables most of the Fontaine units to effortlessly perform their kits, but you can also slot her with non-Fontainian units and allow them to use the Marichus relic set by pairing her with a healer, or if you have a couple thousand to spare by getting her C6. Also, her damage is nothing to sneeze at, even at C0, as these adorable little guys are actually mayhem machines in disguise. And since Neuvillette is also rerunning just before 4.6, everyone who missed on the Furina Neuvillette combo will have a second chance of securing possibly the strongest duo currently available in the game. And who knows, maybe Arlecchino could take his place in this combo, or could very easily join the pair to have a trio of mayhem. And that's not all. With the return of Furina, we should also see the introduction of a brand new weekly boss, as this has been the case for quite some time. For us to receive a new weekly boss, with the Archon's introduction in the second patch of every new region, and as well as with the Archon's respective rerun 4 patches later. This newly introduced weekly boss could be none other than Arlecchino herself, as so far every region has a weekly boss related to the Fatui, with the exception of Mondstadt. Are you guys brave enough to challenge her? I know I am excited to see what mechanics she could have as the weekly boss, but I do expect some sort of form change, just like Signora did. Although I hope she doesn't follow in the footsteps of Signora and actually survives the encounter, only time will tell. But one thing's for certain. It's going to be an exhilarating showdown and a memorable one to boot. Although I hope it won't be a quick one. Let's also talk about the potential introduction of a new region, since we are usually getting a new map every 2 patches, and with the latest edition in 4.4, 4.6 is also the time for the next one. It would be nice if they would continue to work on filling the void in the center of the world map. They could also go east towards Mondstadt and Dorman Port, but I feel this expansion could come later. My expectation is that they will fill a bit of this northern region of the void, as this one is closest to Fontaine and makes the most sense, as in the end, this new map edition is still in the Fontaine timeline patches. Even if they decide to go by a different route, we will have a new region to go over with potentially hidden lore drops scattered around it, as well as treasure, I hope, because with the potentially Arlecchino and Furina banners, everyone could certainly use the influx of primogems. That is not taking into account the additional reruns which will also be present. Speaking of lore, it's quite about time we receive a new Dainsleif quest and progress with the main mission of the game, which is finding our sibling. The last quest with him also left everything on a huge cliffhanger, so receiving some answers is highly anticipated, especially some answers related to where he went after he jumped through the portal at the end of the last quest and what he found there. It would be nice if we would have the opportunity to ask him about Skirk and her mysterious master, but also to see if he has anything to say about the recent events in Fontaine. Such as what are the implications of the disappearance of the Hydro Archon. Maybe the Abyss will start making some moves of their own, and maybe we will get some more hints regarding the situation in Natlin, as we are slowly approaching the release of this new region as well. So, there you have it. A glimpse into the excitement and anticipation surrounding Genshin Impact's upcoming 4.6 patch. From the arrival of Arlecchino, the return of Furina, to the tantalizing prospect of a new region on the horizon, and the potential return of Dainsleif. This patch looks like it has everything in store to appease every type of player. Are you excited about the prospects of the 4.6 patch? Do you plan on pulling for Arlecchino, or are you looking to bring Furina home? Which region do you think will be introduced, and what are your expectations from the reunion with Dainsleif? Let me know all of this down in the comments, and until next time, I am Professor Veritas Ratio, and remember, stay smart and sexy.